Hello, 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 and welcome to Soul Infused Monday today from the beautiful Turks and Caicos Islands. And I'm gonna take a moment just to get ready. And I would love to hear who's here. Who's here? Jess? Hi, Jess! I think I'm gonna cry before I even get started. First of all, thank you so much for all the birthday wishes, for all the comments. It was overwhelming, even to, it's so touching. Maybe not overwhelming. I feel so touched and so blessed and so loved. And I've been celebrating the whole week last week, and I've never done that actually. And it felt so amazing and so uplifting that when my birthday came up, actually yesterday was my birthday, that I felt like I had celebrated already. And I had that moment when I was flying on Friday to the Turks and Caicos, that I was feeling how excited I was and how energized and what a great way to celebrate yourself every day. It's not even about the birthday. It was about celebrating myself, allowing myself to treat myself and to celebrate myself for a whole week. That I had that thought on the plane that we should celebrate every freaking day like it would be our birthday. And so I'm just going to continue to celebrate. So I want to just check in with who's here live. I am actually going to share something that's super, super vulnerable for me that I've never, ever shared in public before, that most people don't know. And there's a reason of why I'm doing this, and I'm going to share this in a minute. I just want to say hello to everyone who's here, and I think I've got so many comments that might run so fast. So I want to acknowledge everything is here with me live today. Jess, Emily, hi. Amanda, hi. Alyssa, hi. Heather, hi. Gina, Guille from Mexico. Savannah, Ida. So thank you so much for showing up live here. It means the world to me. And this is, I have no idea what's going to happen. I could cry again. So it might be a very emotional Soul Infused Monday show. And at the same time, I feel it's going to be a very powerful Soul Infused Monday show. And there's someone out there today that this show might make a huge impact and a difference in their lives. So if there's only one person that I touch or that I that I make a difference for, then it's worthwhile to go through the discomfort. Okay. Hi, Jamie. Love from Philly. Thank you. Being vulnerable is courageous. Yes. Oh my God. I think it's the most courageous thing in the world. And I know there's a concept, like there's often an image or an association with vulnerability is weakness. I do believe that being vulnerable is the most courageous thing, and it takes the most strength in the world. It's easy to, jump from a plane flying. I mean, it's not easy, but people would rather do that than to share something really shameful and intimate with someone. So I appreciate you so much for being here. Tiffany, hi. Okay. Let me take just a moment to share why I'm doing this, because it's important to me, because it's not about me only. It's also for me because it has to do with my own transformation and my continuous growth and my continuous soul alignment. And at the same time, doing this is for a higher good. And otherwise, I would not do it. And it scares the shit out of me, and everything inside me is resisting it, and it's normal. And the reason why I'm doing this today, I'm running currently a self-love boot camp with 12 amazing women, that some of them are here. And I gave them a stretch challenge last week. Every week they have assignments. Every week we do something so that I can grow and become that vibrant, beautiful, confident woman that they want to become. And I felt that I wanted to do it with them. I wanted to stretch myself in support and in just being part of it. Because when we stretch ourselves on a deep level, it expands us. It makes us grow. Every time we overcome something that scares us, it's so liberating. So, and my birthday was coming up, and already last year my soul was kind of like knocking on my door and says, Sonia, just share your story publicly. And I was like, okay, I might, but it was really like nothing that I wanted to jump in right away. And then I was heading towards my birthday, and I was reflecting back on my life. So last week I was still 46. Today I'm 47. And when I was 16, I made a decision that made an incredible, painful impact in my life back then. And I was reflecting on the times when I was 16 that happened to me. When I was 26, and you might know my story, I made that decision to do whatever it takes to love myself. And I went through the healing journey. And when I was reflecting back, and then I did the work. And then I was already a little bit younger, but around 36, I really went out there to do the work on a bigger way. And then with 46, I felt like this year is such a huge year in general, but also for me, and to stepping up for me a next level. And it was such a push from my soul to share it now, because it's my birthday. And a lot of women, also men, however, more women that I know, because I work 80% with women. So many women feel deformed, broken, not good enough, wrong in some way within themselves and in their bodies. Could cry again. Can't believe I'm doing this live. Okay, just give me a moment. I'll be back in a second. Hi, Misha. Hi, Amy. Amber, sorry. Chris is here. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. So, and I want you to know that even these tears, one thing that I do not want at all is any pity or any, like this. I'm doing this because I think it's a powerful thing to do. And it is super vulnerable and scary, so I'm crying, and I think it's totally normal. I'm going to cry and laugh at the same time. And so it's all good. Woo. So we women, in many ways, associate our worth and how we feel about ourselves with our bodies and our outer appearance. It's like really a collective conditioned thing. Men have that too, however, they're more conditioned and programmed into having their worth from performance. So my story is a story of a lot of women in different ways. When I grew up, and some of the pieces, I felt very bad about myself when I was very young. With 14, I was already on a diet because I felt fat and ugly. And that was the story I was telling myself for most of my life and when I was even growing up. What you don't know is that part of this, and I wasn't obviously conscious back then, so a lot of the pieces that I'm sharing comes from a different mindset, from a different awareness. But when I was 14, or young already, 13, 14, I developed already pretty early in my life. I was a little bit overwhelmed, and not overwhelmed, I was very overwhelmed. I was a little bit overweight. I had some overweight, and I had big breasts that I felt very uncomfortable with. I didn't feel comfortable in my body to begin with, and when I was becoming a woman, it felt even more uncomfortable. It was very shameful. There were a lot of things going on that I, of course, were totally unconscious. I didn't know anything. I didn't understand anything. The only thing I was feeling is like I hated my body. I was becoming a woman that I could not deal with. I was completely disconnected. I hated it. Of course, you know, the guys were making fun of me. I remember one day at swim class, you know, that didn't mean any harm, you know? Um, but just the looks and the little, you know, little statements that they did. And I felt so uncomfortable that I completely stopped going to the swimming pool or any lessons. And for years, I didn't ever go to the beach with any of my friends. I was completely hiding, and that's only the beginning of the story. Chrissy, you can relate. Okay. Yeah, I always felt deformed. Yeah, so many women feel deformed. And it doesn't matter which body part, but breasts also, you know, with also so many women that I know that have breast cancer or for some other reason, any type of surgery, scars. And so I was growing up this way. And when I was 16, I felt like I had big breasts and I hated them. So I wanted to get rid of them and I wanted to have a surgery. And I convinced my mother, because of course I was 16, I needed her permission to go surgery and to do a breast reduction with 16. I had no real sexual experience or anything. I was totally disconnected from my body, from being a woman. I didn't feel good enough. I just wanted to, back then the mindset was I want to get rid of them. So I did, and I went to the hospital. I got surgery. And I remember the moment when just before, you know, I was sitting, there was preparation and they showed me how they would cut. They painted it, they would cut. They told me I would have some scars, not too bad. They told me I wouldn't be able to breastfeed, that I couldn't care less back then because I was 16. I mean, I wanted to get rid of my breasts, right? So that was all set up, and then just a minute before, I was already lying there on the table. They were just about to give me the anesthesia. And the guy looks up and says, okay, well, we have to cut some more because something, I don't know. And I didn't care in that moment. It's like, okay, whatever. So the surgery happens. And what happened is that they did a pretty bad job. And I had very bad scars. And I have the scars. I still have those scars. They're not as bad because I had some surgeries. But so that basically took my breasts off. I had very bad scars. I don't want to go too much into detail of, you know, anyway. So the first moment when I woke up was extremely painful, but I didn't care about the scars. I didn't even care in that moment that I didn't have any breasts anymore. I was just happy they were gone. And looking back now, and I've done so much work around this, like this is not even a real issue for me anymore. But now that I'm sharing it in public, I mean, of course it gets very emotional because it's super intimate and super vulnerable. When I was getting older then, because then I was okay, I was happy not having them anymore. And then I was getting older and I was becoming more of a woman, as much as I can say back then. And I suffered horribly from it. I hated how I was looking. I had basically no breast, scars all over here, everywhere scars, no shape, like nothing. And for a very, very long time, I think even for a period of maybe even 10 years, I could not talk about this without crying, bawling my face. Like I was suffering from it. I have severe depression from it as well. And I felt extremely deformed as a woman, not attractive, hating myself even more, hating myself for doing this. Like that was really all going on. I have a totally different perspective on it today. And I'm going to share that. So I would appreciate you stay until the end because this has a happy ending. However, it's not, we are not there yet. And back then, or when I was starting to work on myself and made that decision to do whatever it takes to love myself, I believed back then that the surgery and the scars and this horrible happening and pain and experience was why I was hating myself. I did not understand back then, because I was already so disconnected to begin with, and I was hating myself already, and I was hating to be a woman because there were so many issues on a total unconscious level that make a young woman not want to have breasts and don't want to be sexual and doesn't feel safe. There was so much, and that's a story for another day. But as such a young woman, and maybe you can relate to it, but maybe you are a parent. Maybe you have daughters. My parents did not know what was going on inside of me at all. And I'm sharing this with you because there are a lot of young women and teenagers and even younger than teenagers that already hate their bodies. And to be really aware and mindful with it, because, well, I know, because, I mean, it's obvious. So what happened then is that after years of really struggling, being in pain, doing some therapy, and looking into different avenues, the piece that's even more shameful for me is that the irony of it. So because they did such a bad job back then, and I basically had no breasts, I just literally only had scar tissue, so to say. Then we did some reconstruction surgeries. It was hell. I hate the hospital until now. I had some reconstruction and some, correction of the scars to make it at least a little bit better. And at some point we've decided, and we spoke about doctors and everything. And after getting rid of my breasts completely, I decided to get them redone, like to have a reconstruction, like with implants, and to show that it looks like breasts again. And that was extremely, extremely shameful for me. And not because of the fact that there are millions of women who do that. I have no judgment whatsoever for anyone out there. But it was so shameful for me that I had it, not because I didn't have breasts, it's because I had cut them off. I don't know if this makes sense or if you can relate to this, and I'll see a lot of comments, and I will go through them later. And I struggled with that for a long time afterwards. I was very, very ashamed. So ashamed that I was terrified of being naked. It was always very awkward when I was in a sexual, like with my boyfriend in the beginning, or I didn't experience like free, love yourself, body love, sexual like I do now. Didn't have all of that because I was so ashamed. I felt so deformed. I felt so ugly. I felt so scarred. And whether you have scars on the outside or scars on the inside, it has such an impact on us. And because of all of this and many other things in my life, I am so extremely passionate about helping women to feel vibrant, beautiful, sexy, confident, because it was a very painful and long journey for me to get where I am today. And me sharing this, as shameful as it is, and as painful and as uncomfortable, I know that our stories connect and impact, and I feel like so much shift is happening And as I'm feeling a tremendous shift in my life and a tremendous calling to make an even bigger impact, makes me share this. And at the same time, I feel actually good about it, to sharing it, because we all have scars. We all are wounded. Some more outside physically, some more inside, maybe some more emotional. And in order to really be free, in order to, not only enjoy life for yourself, but to make a difference in this world, it's like we get to heal those things. And I want to say something that's super important to me, because I truly, truly see it this way today. It took me 30 years to share this. Like it took me 30 years to share that here in a setting like this, to the world, to the women in the world, also to the men in the world, to the parents, to the kids, to anyone. It took me 30 years. However, the most powerful message or importance around this story is not the pain and the struggle. It's that because of this, because of that decision, because I went that way and I went through so much pain and through so much transformation as well, is the only reason why I do what I do today. And if it wouldn't have been for that, I would not be the woman that I am today, and I would not be able to help women to transform in the same way. So even though it's scary, it's emotional, it's shameful, and looking back peels off a few layers that, of course, are coming up, I am grateful, and I know that from my soul's perspective, this is the story that brought me to being this impactful, confident, beautiful, and vibrant woman to help others to do the same. I did not see that, obviously, when I was young. I didn't see that. I didn't see back then that part of me doing that was that I wanted to stay daddy's little girl. Unconscious, energetically, emotional. This stuff is so powerful that if you are not aware of it, these are the things that we do out of need, out of love, out of wanting to be approved. I didn't know anything of that. And today, looking back, it was for me. It was happening for me. It wasn't happening to me. It's not something that I was a victim of. Back then, yes. But from a higher perspective, it happened for me and made me the woman that I am today. And it made me so fired up and so passionate. And whoever you guys, some of you guys are here, you're working with me, and you know how somehow adamant I am and how passionate I am, and how I keep repeating that the deep inner work will set you free. And I know it's not easy and it takes time. And yet, I turned 47 yesterday. And even though I'm crying right now, and you might think, oh my God, that's such a sad story, I feel better every year. I feel more beautiful. I feel more vibrant. I feel more confident. I feel more impactful than ever before in my life. Was it worth it for me to work like 20 years and I will keep working forever. I'm in love with inner work. This is the reason why. Because this is what sets you free. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for being here and holding the space. I think I have like 100 comments. I don't know, but I know. My book is coming out of my nose. And I will get through the comments. If you have a question, or if there's something personal that want you to share, that you are too embarrassed to share in public in the comments, or send me a message. Let me know if hearing someone else's story is valuable, and also to see that your story matters. Your story matters. You matter. You are worthy for, regardless. No one is deformed. No one is wrong. Ultimately, is whatever happens to us, it's happening for us. And when we use it and we do the work and we transform into who we really are, and we reconnect to our soul, and we learn how to love ourselves, to trust ourselves, to show up in the world with courage and strength as a community, as a movement, everything is possible. I truly believe that. And I'm here to make a big difference, and I want to wake up people, and to the point that I was willing to share this with you. And I love you guys. I feel so blessed, so loved. And if there's anything I can do for you, reach out to me. Reach out to me, because that's what I'm here for. So, thank you so much. I know that some of you are actually crying with me. If this was valuable for you, even though a part of me screams, "Don't say this, Sonia, you're crazy." But if this was valuable for you, if you know a woman that might be inspired by hearing this story, share it. It's out there already. Take a friend, share it with a friend. Whoever you know is dealing with some sort of not being good enough, not liking your body, being ashamed, hiding, not living your most beautiful and authentic and vibrant life, being in alignment with your soul, with your higher calling. Any woman that needs to hear this today, share it with the world. And I'm gonna leave it with that. Thank you for being and watching this. And if you watched the replay until now, thank you. Send me a message, send me a comment, let me know that you were here. It means the world to me. And I will keep celebrating. So I invite you to celebrate your birthday this week, regardless if it's your birthday or not. So celebrate your day, celebrate yourself, celebrate that you are a woman. If you don't love being a woman at this point, know that if I can do this, you can do. There's always a solution. I didn't believe I would ever love myself. I have a life that I could not imagine in my wildest dreams. And I worked my ass off for it. So it's worth it. Don't stay stuck. Don't hide. Ask for help. Go out there. Join a community. Join my community. You are not alone. You are not alone. We are all in this together. So, thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you. And I would hope to see you again next Monday for the Soul Infused Monday show. And I wish you an incredible, beautiful, insightful, connected, loving, extraordinary day. Much love.